Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at CMG, Ulta, Nvda, Tesla, Gilead, IBB, and MCD, McDonald's. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frame. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So we're going to get into Chipotle on the daily, but first I want to tell you guys something here. Everything right now is a market trade. Just like on Friday when it tanked, everything went down. Just like today, we had a great rally, everything went up. Now we're going up, down, up, down, up, down. We're going to see what tomorrow brings, but it should get really, really interesting. They, as in the Fed and the bulls, they need to get this thing up a little bit higher so they can get more people on board. The problem is you get distribution at the highs, and that's why this, one day we're up, one day we're down, but the last 2 months have been just no volume, and that's why we really haven't been doing anything until Friday and until today. So keep an eye on the volume. Again, it's a market trade. SPY, IWM, Qs go up, everything goes up. Those go down, everything's going down. You'll get some strong ones, like Win was a strong one for the last 2 days. When we were down, Win was up, and then Win caught a nice bid today. But Win is getting close. We're at double top on that one, but that's a different video. All right, let's look at CMG. So we talked about this top here when we came into it and closed on Friday. And I talked about, yeah, we have some pretty good support, but we also have this line down in here, which is the 382 retrace. So we got below it. Oh, and then one more here. We have this trend line here as well. So we got below it. I said there's going to be some support here unless the markets dump. The markets did not dump. They had a nice bid today. So guess what Chipotle did? It's up 235 on the day. And really not that big of a showing, but it still got above this trend line, and it still almost recaptured the 750 retrace on the upside. But this bar is still showing me Chipotle could be a little bit weak. When we have an outside bar reversal and we close below this bar here, that tells me the stock is weak. So now we're going to wait for pattern on the daily, see where this thing can go. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly chart, same thing. We tried getting above these trend lines, could not make it. And these trend lines go back, back and back. Two different ones, nothing big. This pivot as well. But we got under, got above, got under. Now they're trying to attack it. Last week we were actually up, and then the last Friday, boom, we reversed down. So we're still below it, but overall we're still down sideways in a bearish manner. Monthly chart, still not, this down move, kind of up, down again, and then now we're going consolidating in a bearish manner with the 20 MA curling down. This is bearish still. I mean, we could get some news this thing could pop up or what have you, but again, if everything's a market trade, so if this stuff starts to sell, Chipotle will be heading its way downward. Ulta. This was a high flyer, but we talked on the daily chart that we did come into a little bit of support into this yellow line around 239.21. We hit it. We closed on top of it. We did have a gap fill right down in here. A lot of stocks had gap fills today. Filled the gap. Boom. We went right back up. Almost engulfed that candle on Friday, but this thing's been just getting a beat down. We talked about this pattern. A couple more going sideways, and then these things curving down into it. So I think it was a little bit premature. So what we're looking for is maybe some up action, or we come back in, get some more consolidation sideways, these curl into price, and then shoot its way down. I still think we're getting to the 228.53 level. If we retrace back into the 618 in this these moving averages, I would short again. If you're short already, just let it play out. Again, if we come back up, I would short it. But this is a nice bearish pattern. I wish we would add a couple more days in that curl in the price. I'm still thinking 228, ultimately 213.65. So we got below this is the weekly chart. We did get below this area on the 20 MA. They tried reversing it and trying to recapture it. Again, this is weekly, so we're going to see if this thing can recapture the 20. If you are bullish on the weekly close, you need to get above this 20 MA, and it would be really nice if you could get above the 246.27 or the 250 retrace coming up. If you get above there and close, we're going to have to wait until the following week to see if we could get a little bit of follow through, get a little bit of volume coming in here, and then possibly we come up into that area on the daily where the moving averages are. Or even, we've been overshooting a lot, so maybe 266. But we'll see. We'll see how this pattern plays out. Do we reverse and just go straight down tomorrow? It's going to be interesting. These markets aren't really giving us too much right now, other than the float, then the drop, and then a massive reverse, kind of like the Brexit stuff. So everyone's kind of conditioned to say, wow, the Brexit did the same thing, and then we went up and up and up and up. Oh man, it's conditioning, guys. I'm sorry. That's what these guys do. They don't want anyone selling. They're going to keep telling you, the hopes and dreams and everything's fine until it isn't. And then, because you know why? Because they're distributing at the highs right now. That's what these guys are doing. So the monthly chart, we're going to have to wait for the close, but right now we're trying to recapture the 250 retrace or the 750 retrace going up. So right now, not too much to do on Ulta. It already did its thing basically. But what a nice drop. We talked about the high flyer for a while at earnings. It had great earnings and it still dropped. All right, let's look at Nvda. This is another high flyer. Let me tell you, this morning, look at that though. Gosh, everything's coming into support. We talk about this as well. So, man, you know, I when it came back in and filled this gap, I was saying, you know what, there's some support in here. There's a 250 retrace it barely touched. And then you have the 50 or the 50 moving average right down in here. And let's see, you do have a gap. Look at that. Almost gap fill. What is that, 25? Yeah, just missed gap fill, but it hit the 50 MA. That helped this one really bounce up. But we ended up coming in. It was $1.23 up, so it wasn't that, you know, it was a 2% move, but not huge. But again, they got it almost closed above the 60, or no, they did close above the 60-69 area. So they're right on top of these low pivots. Tomorrow, I'd like to see more follow through. If it does not, then we'll wait for a pattern to see where this thing could be going next. If it sets up sideways in a bearish manner, we're definitely going to possibly, well, not definitely and not possibly, we should go down. But again, it's a market trade. If the markets start to dump, this thing is going lower. Weekly chart, we're trying to get above the 60-66. We recaptured it today. We're at 60-75 on the close. So we're going to see if this thing can have some momentum and get up. We did have a nice pattern going here until Friday, and then it kind of broke it up. But look, we came into the inside bar today, filled the gap, bounced it right up with the markets. Markets floated, this floated, and everything's okay again on Wall Street. Let's go to the monthly. Monthly, same thing, just a high flyer. Moving average is around 33.88. This one will start curling up. Right now, we don't really have too much on here. It's a monthly chart, so we still have a couple weeks to go. We'll look at this. We'll look at this one in a couple weeks. Maybe we won't even do the monthlies, but you know, it's still important to look at because just in case we have MAs, high flyers, there's really nothing to look at other than the extension. All right, let's look at Tesla. Tesla was up almost $4 today. We did short this one. We got like a buck something out of the first half, and then $1.25 out of the second half, and then of course we covered and it kept going down. You know, typical. Where did it end up? Not yet. We're about a buck. We're about a $1.25 lower from when we covered it. But again, they're fighting with this thing. You know, we retraced up, came back in, closed below this low, these low pivots. Looked like it was getting ugly. They came back, reversed it, and saved the day. So now we're looking at down, sideways. We're looking at some more sideways consolidation. We'll let this 20 MA start to curl down a little bit more. And if it does, we'll go into the price, and that should send this thing lower. But again, everything's a market trade. The market starts going up higher. These will follow to a certain extent. The market starts to turn lower. Everything's going to turn lower. I still think Tesla can get to 187.87, but we're going to see what it brings in the next couple days. The weekly chart. The weekly chart, same thing. Or a big red bar, sell-off candle, consolidation, boom, next week, close below this big red candle. That's bearish. Now we're starting to chop around. So let's see if we could go sideways for maybe 7-8 weeks on this bad boy. Let these moving averages curl into price, and that should send it on its merry way. If that happens with consolidation, we're going to blast right through 188, and I think we're going to come down here and fill this gap, maybe fill the gap here right around 166.40. But we'll keep an eye on this one just in case. We were short, though, and we got those news, and we actually made some pretty good money on that one. And the monthly, we're still below this upper trend line. I didn't connect that. I like this one better. But we'll see. We'll see where it closes. Still holding the 198.71 in that area. As long as it holds up here, we're okay. But as a bull, you need to get above this 20 MA and keep going. For a bear, you want to see how it reacts at the 177.38 or the 50 MA and the 750 fib. If it does not bounce there, we are definitely going lower. Possibly, like I said, the 150, 155 area. But again, each day gives us a new piece of the puzzle. And at this point, this is bearish, but they can have a failed bearish pattern, and we go straight up into the, where is that, 213 through 14. I mean, you know, nice retrace into this area. You got the 618 here, and then ultimately 220, and maybe 224, 225. If it gets past all that, wow, it deserves to go higher. But until then, I still think we're possibly breaking down. Oh, man. So that was Tesla. Let's look at Gilead. Actually, no, Tesla. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, inside bar, and then, yeah, that one there. Hello. Gilead. Gilead is holding on. It's trying. It was up 80 cents today. Nothing special. Still in a weak technical position. Let me pull some of this garbage out. Still in a weak technical position. We're below all the MAs. We're trying to make a run today. Let's see where this thing could possibly be going. Yeah, I mean, if it gets above the 20 MA and then the 5.0 retrace around 79.44, your next area of resistance around 80.09, then the 750, which is 80.81. So yeah, that's what you're looking for if you're a bull. You got to recapture this MA and that MA. You're going to have some big resistance up here around the $82. And if you're bearish, you want to crack below the 76.68. I think we're going lower. Again, everything is a market trade. If markets go down, these are going down. Weekly, bearish pattern, breaks down, inside bar until we get above the 79.55 on a weekly close. I'm still bearish on this chart as well. And you're below the MAs. Not good. This one here, though, monthly, we got a little while to wait. But this damn well better recapture this 50 MA and get above. Then I could think we could get a little more upward move. Again, though, we got to follow the charts. The charts tell us everything. If the SPY and everything else is going down, these are going down. Let's get to the IBB. This one had a rally. I don't even know where this one came out of. But let's go to the daily. Man, look at that. I mean, that was an engulfing reversal candle on the IBB. Did we fill the gap? 156? Gosh, just fill. You know there was people waiting here down at this gap fill. They missed it by about 10 cents, and then they just ripped it. So guys like me who are waiting the scalpers, waiting, I'll be a little more patient on this. I'll go the 50 even number, and then maybe 45, 40. So it'd be 276.40 to go long. Never came close to it. Then they want to get you to chase, and in these markets, I'm not chasing at all. You start chasing this thing up, and next thing you know, they reverse it, and then they slam it in your face. But that was some good action on here. We did close right on top of the 20 MA, 98. Actually, we closed a little bit above it. So we're going to see how this thing reacts tomorrow. If it starts heading up, we're looking at like the 288, 289, then ultimately the 291, and then I'm looking at this big breakdown bar, 294, then the top of this, 297, and ultimately the 290 number, or actually 300 number, and we'll go from there. If you're bull, I would start taking some off the top here. If not, put a real tight stop in, because you don't want to see one of this or one of those where all of a sudden you just go straight up, boom. Like here we go, retracing back up into this area. We're going to see if it can handle that retrace. And if not, I think we could possibly click and go right back down. If you're bullish, you need to stay above the 20. If you're bearish, you need to get below the 200 MA. And then ultimately this pivot here around 278.51 would be great. Weekly. Trying to recapture the 50 MA. What did we talk about? 50 MA. Got below it. Got below it. I'm telling you, Janet and her henchmen, she must be watching my videos because, wow, they closed it 66. Yeah, so they're above the 50 MA right now, man. Because these charts were starting to look ugly, and they had to do something here. I mean, we could not catch a bid for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Went right on that 299 and pulling back ever since. We bounced up here because it is, we're forming up a little bit of a wedge into support. You're going to get this little bit of bounce. So on IBB, it needs to stay above the 50 MA. Monthly still inside bar bearish pattern. I still don't like this. I think it's going lower in my opinion. Once we get to this point, I think it's going below 253. We need to recapture this 310 if you want it to go higher on a monthly basis. Let's look at MCD real quick. Got about a minute left here. Let's see here. Yeah, nice reversal. Still below the 20 MA, so still in a bearish stance. Weekly, love that inside bar. It needs to get above the 50 and the 20 to continue up. If not, this thing, if the market's dump, it will be going lower. Monthly chart, same thing, stretch, coming back in. It was up $1.37, so not too bad. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy watching my videos. If you have any questions or comments, please send me an email at stockbookie@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. God bless. See you on the charts.